Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Oh, we're so glad to be together in unity. We're so glad you're here. Okay, very good. All right, so at this time, I'm going to invite Karen to come on up and to share with us whatever you have for us today. We really appreciate you being here. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here. It's good to see you guys. The mic's not on. I thought I put it on. Have I been through a lot? Oh. Thank you. We have. And I'm going to share with you my story about that. And I just want to thank you for your prayers, your support. You know, I've been in contact with Reverend James, and he's been telling me that you're sending donations. It's been so wonderful. Thank you so much. And I really love talking about prayer and meditation. I mean, that's what I'm about. It is really, really a path for me. And I want to share with you how that became a divine expression. During the times of Helene, it was tough. But you know what? We have an inner refuge. And I know you guys do too, because I'm seeing the heads nod. That's beautiful. I get choked up over this. I quit wearing mascara because I always cry. It's just part, just love it. It's okay. So, we're going to talk about number 4 and the 5 principles. And we're going to share about how and why meditation is so important. You know, we have the 5 principles, but in unity, those are foundational. The question becomes, are they foundational for you and me? It's really not some kind of dogma that you just accept. Please don't accept anything without chewing it up, thinking about it. Don't swallow. Use your mind. That's what you got it for. So when we say we have 5 principles, it all starts with God is, Do you believe God is? Do you really? Well, I think you do because you're sitting here. There's so many other things that we could be doing on a Sunday morning. But you all are here, and that really says that you know God is, I am. I am what? I am a part of God? Well, how in the world does that work? And how do you access that? How do you access it when you really need it? But how do you access it when you're just walking around every day talking? How does that work? That's what I love, and that's how we're going to explore. I create. Well, do we create? Oh, goodness, that gets us in some trouble, doesn't it? I create, but I create how I choose to look at things, for sure. It's perception. We're going to talk about prayer and meditation as cleansers of that perception. We talk about I align through prayer and meditation. I align myself with God. Well, how can God be everywhere present and then I have to align with God? It's like saying a fish has to remember to swim and be in the ocean. Well, somehow or another, we kind of forget. We do. We have a dualistic perspective. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't mean that we have to live there. We can go into what, in biblical terms, is called the kingdom. We don't usually use that in our everyday world. But it is, we talk about the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom. I like to drop the G and say the kingdom, that part of us that are kin, one another. That's how we know. Man, we can't live just these things in our mind, we have to take them out in action, in contributions, donations, giving, giving, giving. It's only through that giving that we really experience it, isn't it? Prayer and meditation align us with divine consciousness. Do that with me. Prayer and meditation align us with divine consciousness. Yeah, doesn't that feel good? It's like a deep breath to the soul. It's wonderful. So these 5 steps, these 5 principles could also be a path. Could also be a part of how a path God is. I have to remember that. God is. Well, God is whether I remember it or not. But God is. Even that one little sentence can change your entire life. When we start out on a destination, when I'm trying to leave from Asheville, I live East Asheville. I live in Fairview. And I put in, I have a, my GPS comes up, has starting place, your location. It starts where you are. Then you put in a destination. You have to have 2 points. You have to know where you are. Thankfully, my GPS knows where I am better than I am. But on the spiritual path, we have to have a little bit of soul search and honesty to say, well, maybe I don't really know. Maybe I don't really believe that, whatever that is. Maybe I want to learn more about that. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful resource. And that's James and Leah King. These guys are knowledgeable, they're wonderful, they're available. If you find something in your path and you go, I'm sorry, but I don't really know God is. I don't really know that I am a part of God. How can I be a part of God and feel like sometimes? Shoot them an email, shoot them a line, a text, and say, would you talk more about this? Could we have a class in this? They love that stuff. Use them. They've got 2 nods over here. It's a 2-way street so that there's true communication. So prayer and meditation is in our 5 principles. It's in our 5-step prayer practice. Now, why would you put meditation in a prayer practice? You see, that stuff is so important to unity. Connie Fillmore, I think it was maybe the late 70s, 80s, was asked to write. This granddaughter of Charles the Myrtle, asked to write the 5 principles as we have them today. She grew up seeing her grandfather, Charles, sitting around the house, just what he called going to headquarters. He would just be meditating. He tells a tale about her childhood friend coming in and going, what's your grandfather doing? And she said, he's going into the silence. Doesn't your grandfather do that? No. It was a regular part of her life. She didn't even think anything about it. She captured the essence of those 5 practices to what we have today. So meditation, we often define meditation as prayer is the time I talk to God, and meditation is the time that God talks to me. What's God saying to you? What's God saying to you? Do you have a clear path, a clear channel open? Do you have a clarity that you can turn to in times of happiness and in times when you really need it? Well, Mark and I have been real long time Buddhist meditation people, and we've gone to many, many retreats. And one of the terms that was taught is inner refuge. Inner refuge. Now, in no way does that mean that I'm going to be in my refuge and I'm not going to talk to you and you're just going to be over there and I don't care what you're doing and I'll just sit here and be holy. No, that's not what that means. What that means is, I know God is, I am. Now, Buddhists don't use the word God, but that's still what it means. I found in my studies in the 1920s, daily words started. And you know, one of the very first words they used was inner refuge. I find those cross-cultural things, and I get up and literally do my little happy dance because it makes me so excited to see the same truth. The same truth appears in a Buddhist, and the same truth appears in the unity. And there's only one presence, right? So, of course, there's only one truth. My friend Sharon says, of course there's only one truth. If it sounded all different, it would be a lie. That was easy. Okay, we got that one done. So, prayer and meditation cleanses our perception. Cleanses our perception. It's like Windex of the soul. We're able to go in there deeper. We use it when we don't need it. We use it when it's celebration. It doesn't have to be a disaster. We can celebrate. But you know where I'm going with this, right? I'm going to go and tell you a little bit about how that happened with me and Helene. But I want you to just be able to, you know, everyone has that story. When I came in, the big trees were all down, and your neighborhood looked like my neighborhood. Big trees are down everywhere. Well, for days, people, and I guess people still do, we talk about where were you when it hit. I know Leah and I talked, and she and I had an experience where being outside in the storm, right? Okay. And she saw the big trees coming down and got it on video. Well, it sort of is the way it happened. I was on our screened-in porch. I like storms. I know, it's weird, right? But I like storms. I was always kind of called to that energy, and I had the screened in, and the wind was amazing and loud, and I knew this was different. We had no warning. Nobody told us something was happening because nobody knew. It took a veer, it took a turn. So I was out there on the screened-in porch looking at this wind, and it was very different than what I had ever seen before. First of all, it was coming from a different direction. We have this huge, huge pine tree, three or more stories high. It was bending towards the house. It kept bending, and I thought, oh, that's going right to the bedroom where Mark's sleeping. So before I could turn, the wind shifted, and bam, it sounded like thunder. All these trees around my house went down. You know, I live 3,000 feet up, but right below me turned into a watery hell. It was horrible. Everything you've seen and everything you've heard is so true. And for me, I had never been in a global disaster like that. Some people who have even been in hurricanes in Florida said, oh no, this is really different. We don't have that kind of trees in Florida. There was a little bit of a difference, but I know suffering is suffering. If you've suffered in your life, you know exactly what I mean. And one of the things that I know for sure is the reason we have suffering is a great equalizer. We all have it. We all have it. Now, this was a huge global disaster. It hit an entire city that one day, you know, we were happy, little artsy place, and then another day, big sections of the town were gone. So, in that moment, when I saw the tree, and in that split second, when the wind went the opposite direction, I went to inner refuge. Why? Because I'm holy? Because I'm practiced. Because I've done it for so long. It's just reflexive. And that's where we all need to be. I can't say I do that all the time. If you've never ever talked to me, you know that, like in the first 3 minutes. But in that moment, I went down to inner refuge, and I recommitted my vow right then. And I said, I know something just happened here, and I will be a light in this world. We can use the great tragedies of our lives to go deeper into something that I didn't know exists. I don't understand it. I can't put that together. But I know it happens. We say, this inner refuge is the part of God within us. How do you get there? You align our consciousness. How? Prayer and meditation. In this way, meditation can be a time of practice, and we're going to do a little bit of that. I want you to walk out today with something that you can do anytime, anywhere, whether you're in the car, in the grocery store line, wherever you are. If you're breathing, you can do this. And we're all breathing, I know. Okay. So, what is this inner refuge? And these are the words that we get taught in Buddhism. You know, I see so much correlation between Buddhism and Unity that I actually went to the archivist in the library of Unity Village, and I sat down with him and I started showing him the correlations between something that has an ancient practice with it in Buddhism and the words of Charles Myrtle Fillmore and some of the other great teachers. And he had to look at me and say, Karen, I guarantee you there wasn't a Tibetan monk running around Kansas City in the 30s. You know, sometimes we have to say this stuff in the language you get. But, you know, it's the truth. It's so familiar. And you're going to hear it too. We say God is. Well, what's that God? God is ceaseless. No beginning, no end. It's not going to ever stop. Changeless. In those moments, I had great anxiety because, well, you know, it seemed like it was years. But you know what? It was only 4 days. But we had no access into Asheville. You could not get out and you could not get in. Our rescue workers thought that everything was going to happen in Florida, so they had already left. There wasn't anyone around to help. We didn't have Amazon. I mean, how much stuff do you get from Amazon? I get a lot, but it was not like Amazon trucks were coming. We didn't have internet. So what just happened? We didn't have that. There was nothing and no one. I remember going to like little grocery stores that people were trying to keep open. Women would go through the aisles with a flashlight because there's no electricity and bring it out and people would buy it. They had to have cash. People were handing each other cash. Our God is changeless. Our God is reliable. It is more reliable than the internet. It is more reliable than the Amazon truck. It's more reliable than even food and water if you can't get to it. That's what the power. One power, one presence. One power, one presence. And even though I felt anxiety and I felt great grief and I had great emotions, I could drop to my inner refuge and I could, having cultivated that for years, And I could find, well, I can't even tell you I found peace a lot because I could not find stillness. I could not find stillness. I had a great restlessness. I kept saying, Mark, let's get out of here. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. He's going, Karen, we got to wait till a road's open, you know. But I knew beyond any kind of emotional response, beyond hope, beyond belief, maybe that is what faith is. But I knew God is one power, one presence. I also know that God is the source of all positive qualities. All positive qualities. Love, compassion. And in those times, prayers became acts of service. As I was talking out front today, I heard so many people saying, we were sending you donations. We were sending you donations. Oh, that just rips me up still. It's so true. Those acts of service was a prayer. Don't stop. Give to that donation. Give. Go find a coat you're not wearing. I know there's one in the back of your closet and go take it to that lady. She's, don't stop. Don't stop. Give. Those are how we know. During those times, people were just helping. We say so many times, wouldn't it be great if there wasn't any red colors and blue colors and political stuff? I saw it. There was none. There was human beings helping human beings. Wow. I walked around and people would just kind of gather wherever there was a hot spot, trying to get into their family and stuff like that, trying to find an internet service. They look at each other and just hold each other and cry. Deep grief everywhere present. But not alone. It was only 4 days. It was only 4 days. Somebody will tell me 5, but I'm still not sure. That all of a sudden the sky became filled with these, the big helicopters with the black helicopters with the two things. And it was like, I'm looking at them going, what are those? And I'll tell you the truth. On television, you see those big helicopters and on the movies and stuff, and it's always a war thing. And I thought, are they going to bomb us now? I did. I thought that. It was the first thing I thought was, what's going to happen now? Because our minds get attached to catastrophes, right? A person texted me and said, Karen, you're not alone. I don't know what that would be like to do that day after day after day when I see war-torn areas. I cannot believe how that would be. The struggle. I said to somebody, kind of smarty looking, I said, well, I hope they bring in chainsaws because they're not going to get to us, But they did. I can't tell you the organizations that helped us. FEMA was there. FEMA helped so much. Red Cross was there. Red Cross is still there in our area. We still have problems with water, and not us personally, but in our area. We have showers and water available because so many people don't have it. And because there's so many workers still there who are taking showers and getting laundry done and getting food. It's still a part of our daily lives. And that's not all. We had Asheville Restaurant Week. Woohoo! The businesses are starting to open and people are starting to smile, and that is so fabulous. So fabulous to see. But I can never forget what that was like, looking up and going, my gosh, you mean they remembered we're here? Somebody found out? But it tells you more about the condition of my mind it was just like waiting for the next thing to happen. Why? Because catastrophizing has also been a part of my conditioning. And don't you know, that's one of the things I'll be working on this year. I'm taking that one into prayer and meditation because it became a very, very real block. It was so amazing. So this is what we do. We have such wonderful teachings where we know we have access. We know we have access. We have access to one another. We have access within our hearts. And it's up to us to do something about it. It said, like in AA, it says it works if you work it. You got to work it. So I'm going to end with this, and then we're going to come back after a little song, and we're going to do some deeper meditation. But I want you to have this piece. This is so simple. And this you can do. This is a meditation. It's a beginning meditation. You can do this anywhere. So just be aware. If you want to close your eyes, that's good. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just kind of drop your gaze down. Drop your gaze down and look down. And just let yourself be aware of the exhale. Just kind of connect to your exhale. Connect to your exhale. Exhale a little fuller this time, without effort, but just really with awareness. And with that exhale, you're going to feel maybe a sense of, I'm here now, dropping into your seat, kind of. There's a release, a natural release that comes with the exhale. Maybe there's some stillness there. No place to go, nothing to do, except exhale. Now as you work, just breathe in there, just keep breathing. As you exhale, shift your perception to your inhale. Feel the difference. In that difference, maybe there's a freshness with the inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, something new. A new moment. Inhale. Now exhale. Exhale, release. And inhale the fullness of life. Exhale, release. And this time as you exhale the release, be aware of a little gap right before the inhale comes. Exhale sweetly, just very gently, without effort. And there's this little space before the inhale comes. That little gap is the present moment. It's the point of power. It's who you are. Just exhale. Now, if you will, please, when you're ready, open your eyes and turn to a neighbor and say, just like a sentence or a little bit about how that was different for you. Did you feel relaxed? Did you feel something different? Turn to somebody and just speak to them. And when you're ready, come back. And I can see from your faces, I know you tell Unity people to talk, right? But I can hear your voice and I can hear your faces that in that 2 minutes, it's all it was. It's 2 minutes, it's all we did, that something happened, something shifted. And you know what? You shifted. You shifted. And you connected and you aligned with the power and the presence of only one. Thank you. Right here, right now, I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable. Find that deep, deep place within yourself. Drop to your heart. Feel your heart space. Take that deep, deep breath. Paying attention to the exhale of release. Dropping to your heart. Just in a normal and natural way, we go deeper and find our God, the God of our heart, radiating outward. Paying attention, just that sweet, loving awareness of the heart space. With that deep exhale of release, there is stillness here. There is a stillness beyond anything on the outside, no matter what is saying to you. And drop into the stillness. And as the door opens of stillness, you find a spaciousness everywhere present. Shifting that awareness to include your inhale and the freshness of just one moment. Inhaling. And as you shift into that inhale, maybe the voices in your mind are starting to calm, not be so loud. We stop talking to ourselves. And we enter the silence. Connecting deeply to the exhale of release, there is a gap. Right at the end of that release, there is a gap before the inhale comes. Don't fight it or try to find it. It's always present. Relax into it. Relax. And let go of any kind of effort now. Anything that's trying to say what the next thing is. Just relax. Just relax deeper. And when we go into our heart, we know that we are present. We are present in this moment. There is goodness everywhere present. And as we open our eyes, we bring that energy of love and joy with us, that source of all positive qualities, whatever gift that's called the gift of the Spirit that you are, you bring that out to what you've been given in this moment, to this day, to the awareness of the people around you who have chosen to be a part of this moment with you. And we say thank you, gratitude, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you in all their